Okay. Oopsie. Pardon me, coughing. I'm not drunk enough water today. Okay. I'll just check the screen, make sure it says we're live, because I don't believe in technology very much. Oh, yeah. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. Sorry. All right. Hello. Hi, everybody. Oh, look, Jiro the Hero's here. My God, it's been a long time since we've done one of these podcasts. I'm so sorry it's been so long. You know, the end months of last year were just, busy just for me and Shay. So Yes, welcome to our first podcast of 2017. And this is episode 6. And today we are going to be discussing by you guys' choice. I did a poll on Twitter and you guys decided on most voted was we're going to be talking about lesser known anime shows. So we'll be talking about shows that you guys may never heard of, shows that we've seen that many might not know of. So this will be a really interesting podcast episode. And today we have our very first guest on the podcast, which is very, very exciting. And we are joined by one of our really, really good YouTuber, mostly blogger friend, Josh from Otaku Gamer Zone. Say hello, Josh.
Hey guys. It's nerve-wracking.
It's okay. You just forget that there's people here.
Exactly.
How it usually goes.
Why don't you give our listeners a little introduction into what you do?
Well, at Otaku Gamer Zone, we basically just do typical anime discussions. We'll do some impressions and reviews. We try to have it a little bit off kilter from like the usual like dissection of, here's why this anime is great and why. We just kind of give a more impersonable opinion on the anime. So, and then we do fun game streams, and then I do work on the side for Viewster. So.
Yes, you certainly do a lot like me and Shay. We just pile too much shit onto ourselves, I think.
Yeah, true.
That's how it goes.
Yes, that's how it goes. And yes, make sure, guys, that you go. I'm having a self-promo moment. You guys go check out Josh. I've linked his blog in the description, and I will link his YouTube as well for you guys. So to kick things off, I'm gonna get Josh to start us off with, and I guess we're gonna go through some shows that you guys may never heard of and talk about them. I know I have a gigantic list here right next to me because I wrote it last night. Otherwise, I'd be totally unorganized. So, Josh, why don't you tell us a show you feel that is lesser known and is not really that talked about that much that you have seen?
Well, in terms of shows, I mean, there's older ones that I can lean to that were popular back in the day. But there's one anime that came out at about, what's the first air date on this one? I think it's like 2013. And it had a little bit of discussion. 2013 is when it aired. But it's called Kyoso Giga. It's a really small 10-episode run anime. And it's basically an anime that talks about, there's of course, overall God, and then he had a son who created worlds and so on. And one of these sons created a pocket world of his own to escape into, and using, which I think is why it's not very popular at first. But as it goes, it gets more coherent. But it's a beautifully animated show from Toei Animation. And they've done some marvelous work on a few other anime, but it's a short and sweet thing that I think a lot of people like. I mean, Toei, of course, has been more renowned for their work on One Piece, of course, and Sailor Moon Crystal. So it is a studio that knows what they're doing in terms of storytelling. So that's one of the ones that I have. And
what was the name? What was the starting letter? Did it begin with?
K. So you're good. K. So Kyoso Giga.
Okay. Well, I've definitely not heard of it. That does sound interesting. And it was from what year was it? 2000 in the 2000s, was it?
Yep, it was 2013. So it just wasn't as widely popular and spread.
Yeah, as most like most shows that don't really, get a look in much. So
Precisely.
Yeah. Yes.
But I like it just for the simple fact that it's one of those anime that you could watch from an artistic standpoint and just be absolutely in love with how the art style flows and looks.
Yes, and I'm going to move over to Shay. What is a show? Yes. What is yes? What is a show that you feel you've seen that no one's really ever heard of and not talked about that much?
I gotta go with, it's called Full Moon wo Sagashite. The English term is Searching for the Full Moon.
Oh, wait. I've seen that's got a manga, hasn't it?
It's got a manga. Also an anime, yeah.
Because I saw it in the library the other day when I went. And I was like, oh, it's like the first 2 volumes. And I was thinking, oh, this looks interesting. And I'm like, oh, no, I wish I picked it up.
It's a really good, it's a sweet show, but also kind of sad. I hate to say it. So, like, basically, it's about a 12-year-old girl. Her name is Mitsuki. And her dream is to be a professional singer. But she can't be a professional singer because she gets diagnosed with throat cancer. So I know. So there's a duo Shinigami who come down and they let her know that she only has 1 year left to actually live. And when she finds this out, she decides instead of her being discouraged, she's going to try to live out her last year to the fullest as she can and to somehow still pursue her dream of becoming a singer. So through these Shinigami, they kind of help her to do that, and she deals with a lot of loss as well as fulfilling her dream. And then along the way, though, it's also kind of a love story because she's also searching for this boy that she really liked. And it's 52 episodes, so it's kind of a longer series.
Yes, I'm just looking it up now on my anime list. I've wrote yours down as well, Josh. It's from 2002.
Yeah, it's from 2002. When I watched this show, it was 2009, I think, when I watched this show. And I really enjoyed it. The only thing I would say, I want to say I watched this show either dubbed or I watched it subbed. I can't remember how I watched the show. No, I watched it dubbed. And then, like, literally, I don't know what happened, but when I watched the show online, the last maybe 4 or 5 episodes were not dubbed. And so I had to find them because nowhere else had the complete series. So it was really hard for me to actually finish it. But once I finished it, it was a great series. The music in it is amazing because the girl has to sing. And so she's singing a lot of songs because she does end up like really trying to pursue her dream. And the songs in it were just so good. I have them on my phone. I still listen to them from time to time. And it's just a wonderful story of courage and like still pursuing your dream and not being discouraged if you are dealt with a certain blow, that is going to change your entire life and still kind of living life to the fullest. So if you haven't seen it, check it out if you can find it. Good luck with that.
And that sounds like a really cute story. Now that you've talked about it, I'm like, oh, I really should have borrowed it from the library when I went. I hate that when that happens. You find out about things and then you're like, oh, crap.
Those last minute regrets.
Right.
No. Well, any of the shows that we mentioned, we'll put them in the chat. I know you did that, Otaku. I know you did that, Josh. So any of the shows we mentioned, if you guys want to check them out.
Oh, no, I can't link.
No, that's all right. Everyone can put it. That's all right. Everyone could just put it in Google. Google's everyone's best friend. Lynn says, I watched the first 5 episodes of Full Moon and stopped because I couldn't commit. Some of us can't commit. Some of us can't. it's like that was I know exactly how you feel, and people are probably going to hate me for this. But you know, Cowboy Bebop, I watched up to halfway and I couldn't commit. Seriously, Cowboy Bebop is not my thing. I'm gonna be honest.
It's all good.
I couldn't.
Okay.
I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I mean, like, I liked the characters. I like Faye. I like Spike. I liked all of them. I like the dog as well. Oh, but I love, I work with animals, so like any anime with any dogs in it or like animals, I kind of just go like, oh, and like I want a plushie of the dog. It's a corgi. I'm pretty sure it's a corgi in that series.
Yep, but the corgi's named Ein.
I know. I'm like, oh, I love corgis. Corgis are like, I think, my third favorite breed of dog. Yeah, the little legs and sorry. Not here to talk about animals, but yeah, sometime that was the last time I think I ever couldn't commit to finishing a watch. That was probably the last time, but that was a long time ago.
I have a few that I never finished, that I just stopped watching.
I know, that's why like on my on hold list is growing. There's currently 30. I've got to really get that down.
And it will continue to grow tonight.
3.
I don't want it to continue to grow. All right. So most people know me that my main interest in anime is actually the rare gems of anime. That's my main interest in anime. And the one show that is, I think you've heard of this, Josh, I think. It's not really, it is in the Final Fantasy franchise, but I didn't even know there was an anime for the Final Fantasy. But it's called Final Fantasy Unlimited. And I can't remember if you've heard of this, Josh, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm probably wrong.
Somebody else? Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
No. Yeah, so it's I think it was made in 2005, and it's about two kids named You and I. They're twins, and they go off. That's probably like middle of the plot. Basically, there's this phenomenon that happens, and the sky is split in the sky. This supernatural phenomenon, and their parents, You and I's parents, both professors, researchers, and they go inside the portal basically to discover what is beyond. And they end up not coming back. So You and I end up going on a journey to find their parents. And they end up in this strange world called Wonderland. And it's a very, very friggin' strange world. And they meet some interesting characters. Most of the characters in the show look like aliens, they do. And they meet a strange guy named Kaze, who is like one of my husbandos. Oh yeah. And he's a very silent, meek man, and he's got like hidden past and whatever. And then there's a woman that they end up meeting named Lisa, and she's got some hidden powers or something. She overwatches the children. And it's ends up being a very dark tale in the end. It's 26 episodes long, and the finale of it just like blew me away. I was in tears, actually. I was. It was really sad. It was really sad, but the rest of the show was really, really interesting. Of this strange Wonderland world that was created, like mushrooms are flying in the sky, and it's a really strange watch, but it's one of my favorites. I remember when I found the original box set for it, I'd hunted it for like forever. I had, and I finally got it, I think, in 2013, I reckon. I've had that box set for about 2 or 3 years now. It was about $50. It was about. That's pretty good for over where I am.
Oh yeah, that is pretty darn good.
Yeah, so anyone's interested, Final Fantasy Unlimited is a interesting watch, but the ending might make you cry.
That's probably why I didn't see it too, because it was actually broadcasted on our network out here called Sci-Fi, the channel most renowned for doing very crappy B movies. This is
Really?
like back when in America, like when like every channel had their own anime channel.
Oh yeah.
Probably why I did not see it.
But yeah, that's one for you guys. I'll just type it in the chat for you if anyone's interested. And Blade says people should see Magical Shopping Arcade. Abby.
Abonbashi.
Can't pronounce anything for crap. Blade's like, oh, I hate Final Fantasy Unlimited. Yes, actually, you were the person I was thinking of then. I know you don't like it.
There you go.
That's okay. That's okay. I have heard of this Magical Shopping Arcade one. I've seen it on eBay recently, actually, when I was having a browse.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this too.
Which one? The Magical Arcade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's about. I know it's about all these, obviously it's about all these shop owners, I think. So yeah, I've been recommended that show in the past. I have. That looks good. Yeah, it looks quite a decent watch. What are you guys laughing at?
Nothing at all.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's like if you like Gurren and Fully Cooley, okay, it's like weird and crazy. That's cool. And there was one topic that I wanted to ask everybody in the chat, and also who is here and our hosts today. It's something that's always bothered me for quite a long time, is that because new shows and simulcast and the seasonal stuff is so mainstream now, is that I feel bad that like new anime fans are just automatically stick to end up watching all the seasonal stuff, and then shows like we've mentioned or even classics don't get a look in. How do you feel about that? Honestly, it can annoy me very much. I mean, people are allowed to like what they like, but I feel like anime is going to take this direction. I feel like new anime fans of the future, that's where it's going to be at. All the old beauty of anime is going to be forgotten, and so
yeah.
What's your take on it, Josh?
I mean, for the most part, yeah, that is true. Like anything really, I mean, if it's going to be a seasonal approach, they're going to be used to kind of going through it in the season. So they're going to be like, okay, as an example for me, I already have my seasonal lineup. I'm looking at PA Works releasing their new original anime like Sakura Quest. I'm really looking forward to that. But I would argue though that in between the seasonal formats, once everybody's watched what they wanted to watch and they're kind of just sitting there going, what do I do now? I mean, I find myself going through Crunchyroll after I've like watched what I wanted to, and like I'll find, random odd little shows like
what was that one? What was it about? It was a I think it was a transgender one.
Yeah, the transgender one. That was one like I just randomly found on a limb because it was like after I had finished watching. I forget what I was watching before that, but it. I'm not going to pronounce the first one because I'm a little tongue-tied, but the name is Wandering Sun. If you just search Wandering Sun on Crunchyroll, you'll find it. And it's like this little 11-episode long anime that aired in 2011 by Aniplex. And it literally follows two characters, a boy and a girl who, the boy likes to look pretty. He wants to dress up like a girl. And the girl character, she's very lanky. She's, has a guyish haircut and so on. And I mean, like it's just the whole art style of it too is just kind of this pastel kind of faded artistic, and like throughout the anime, all the edges of that anime at all times are always faded white, like it's a blurry dream that it's something that it really gives you that feeling that this is something they're chasing after. This is a dream of theirs that they want to achieve. And watching that type of show was came about because I'd finished watching whatever fall titles I was watching. I was like, well, what do I do with my time now? So while the seasonal structure does, all these new fans are going to be bound by that because they're going into these giant streaming sites on that formula, they're going to have some off time because, every season you're going to have like, 10, 20 anime. They'll probably pick up a lot, but then they'll throttle it down to maybe, probably 5 to 6 titles they really like and are wanting to keep up with. And then beyond that, though, I mean, they'll, watch what they want to watch. But I think what it really just depends on is the person really who's watching.
Yes, and how do you feel on the subject as well, Shay?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you.
For me, I feel like I don't feel like it's kind of the same thing for us. There's animes that came out that before many of us were born that many of us have not ever seen or watched. I mean, like if you look at, what is it? I think it's like Battle of the Planets, Speed Racer, Astro Boy. A lot of those animes came out, our parents watched those as kids and didn't even know they were anime. And I think it's just, for me though, is something along the lines of technology nowadays, since we do have easier access to watching anime, and now a lot of the older animes we aren't able to see because we don't have access to them. I mean, before we had access to like the internet and getting anime that way, we of course had to either watch it by, videotaping it off the TV, watching it when it came on TV. And then of course we no longer can show newer fans the older stuff because of the access we had to the older stuff. Like if I wanted to show, to be honest, if you look at even like Sailor Moon for a time, you couldn't find Sailor Moon anywhere until they revamped the series. And even newer fans of Sailor Moon Crystal don't realize that Sailor Moon actually came out years ago and it's not anything new for us. And I think it's just to say about how technology is now. I mean, now you can have access online to know what new shows are going to be coming out. And now we have access to shows coming from Japan to the United States quicker than before. And instead of us having to wait months, if not years, for a dub or even a subtitle version to be released, now it's a lot easier. And I feel like it might not be as lost now, because of the fact we do have things like the internet and that technology, and even studios getting a hold of older animes and us being able to watch them again, either revamped or not. But to me, that's what I think about the topic. I think it just goes to show about how advanced technology is becoming, and that's why the newer shows are getting much more attention compared to older shows.
Yes, fully agree as usual with everything that you say, Shay. You just hit the nail. You just always hit the nail on the head. So just. I mean, I like how things are becoming. I like how things are becoming obviously more mainstream, and anime is only going to get bigger and bigger, I feel, for the future. Not this bull crap people are throwing around saying, "Oh, the industry is going to die," which is a lot of hoo-ha. And yeah, I mean, it's good that, like, I know, like, some, like, I think we have here, you guys, like, have Crunchyroll and Funimation, all that. We have a thing here called Anime Lab. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's only for Australia and New Zealand specifically, and they do they only do certain simulcasts, they do. And recently they've just launched where they're actually adding older animes to their series. So, for example, recently they just added onto their library Wolf's Rain. That's an old series.
That is old.
That is really
they
old.
just added that, and last week they added one called Shangri-La, which I've seen, and they almost add one every week, and that's why I subscribe to them in the end, because not really Crunchyroll does that. I know they've partnered up with with Funimation and that, but I'm not seeing a lot of like older shows being added recently.
Yeah. And for me, I feel like also with the older shows, many of us might also become interested in knowing more about older shows. I know for me, because I like to watch dubs. I know a lot of people don't like to watch dubs. They like to watch stuff subtitled. I've said this before, I can be very lazy. So for me, having it on English dubbed in the background works wonderful for me, especially if I know who's ever's in it and I've heard their voice before. So for me, I still do watch a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of panels where I will watch, you know, my favorite voice actors answer questions. And sometimes they'll list the shows that they're in. And some of the shows that they're in are older shows that I have not seen before. So for example, for me, I was watching Laura Bailey talk about a show she was in where she had to say a really strange line. And Chris Sabat, who voiced Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, was like making fun of the line a little bit and making her laugh and making her giggle. And she talked about the show it was in, and it made me want to watch the show to hear that line. And the show she talked about was Blue Gender. Now, Blue Gender came out in 1999. And
oh, God, I remember that. I do remember that.
So Blue Gender is a very old show, and I had never seen Blue Gender. And so it made me want to watch Blue Gender and watch a lot of these older shows I had not seen before, because they're like, oh, I was in this show. And I was just like, what show is that? And then I was like, well, I want to check it out. Or even just hear about lesser known shows that I never knew about. Like, for example, Speed Grapher. That's a show I had never heard of before. And then I didn't know about it until one of the voice actors got asked about it. And it was like, how was it voicing or being in Speed Grapher? And he was just like, oh, it was a strange show to be in. And because of this particular line or because of this character. And I was just like, I've never seen that show before, nor I have heard of it. And then I happened to come across a box set of Speed Grapher. I'm like, hey, I've heard of this show before. I think I want to watch it. So that's for me is how I learn about older shows or find out about older shows too, is by hearing my favorite voice actors, knowing that they're in those shows, then wanting to see it, because then the show sounds interesting, especially if they had fun recording it. And for me, that's not the same. I hate to say relationship, but I guess the same relatability that I have with the Japanese voice actors, since I don't watch a lot of their panels or have seen many of their panels where they talk about it, to where I'm like, where I can actually recognize their voices and say, this is who that is in this show. So then I know how to know what shows. But with the English voice actors, I can distinctly kind of pick out who's in what show, or be like, that sounds like such and such. And then when I look at the credits, I'm like, I was right. That was them.
Yeah, definitely agree. And when it comes to voice actors, I only know so many. I never really took an interest in who's behind the voices so many years ago, and then it wasn't until I started doing more face on YouTube and got really into my blog where I started like fanning out on who does what voices and stuff. So
yeah. For me, it was pretty early, because I was like, I want to know who voices this character. And then, like, for me, the first voice actor that I really started to notice more, or I wanted to know who they were, was Johnny Young Bosch, who voices Ichigo in Bleach and was the Black Power Ranger and the Green Power Ranger. And so I was just like, I want to know what this was like. And plus, for me at that point, I had never been to a convention, so I never knew what happened. So I would go on YouTube and like type in, you know, Johnny Young Bosch panel, and then a whole bunch will pop up, and I would just spend hours just watching them, and then wanting to know like who was in what show, and learning more about the whole experience behind the voice acting and behind the industry as a whole, per se. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like when it comes to older series, when someone says, "Oh, that's an old series," I'm like, well, it was only technically from 2005. It's really not like that old. Old to me when it comes to anime is like from the 1980s to the 1990s. Some of the first anime I ever watched was around between the era of 1990 and the very early 2000s. I'd say up to 2001. And those are the kind of animes that don't get a look in. You know, when it's like 2000, when it's in the 2000 and like, you know, the animes in the 2000s that were made, they're not like old. That's why you can say like series, obviously, for example, I'm going to use A Vision of Escaflowne. That that anime is 20 years old now. 20 years. You know, that to me is classed as like a classic. It is. And I remember I was so happy when it got a re-release, and the Funimation did the Kickstarter and everything. I know some people kicked up a fuss about that. I'm not sure why. But yeah, and I haven't actually heard the new dub for it. It's country restriction is against me right now. So if anyone knows where I could listen to the new dub, yes, restrictions, all the restrictions. If anyone knows where I could listen to it, I would be most grateful, because I have not had luck trying to find anything like that right now. No. And yeah, and like got series like Rurouni Kenshin that was made in 1996, I believe. Yeah.
But that just goes to show that we were really also kids. Yeah, because that goes to show that there was also shows that came out when we were kids. So for us, that may seem old for us, because I mean I'm 26. So for me, my first anime. You're 26. I'll be 27 this year. So those of you guys are like, dang, Shay's old. Yeah, I'm about to be 27 this year.
I'm old.
And for me, my first anime was Sailor Moon, which came out in like 1994, 1992. Yeah, so it came out when I was super young. So for me, you know, that anime might seem old. That's also the same that could be said for any anime that's made in like the 80s or even the 70s, or like anime that my parents watched. So for example, my mom was huge, loved like Astro Boy, and she loved Speed Racer. And when those shows came out, she was younger. So for me, I consider those shows old because I wasn't born when I saw when those shows were ever released. But I knew about the cartoon, or I knew about the anime because it still kind of aired when I was a kid, but you know, I didn't understand what I was watching half the time. But that just goes to show that now kids who saw shows, like now I see people who said, oh, their first anime was Inuyasha, or they're like, my first anime that I ever watched was Bleach. My first anime I ever watched was Naruto. And it's kind of like, well, those are the shows that were on for them as a kid. And those shows might then become classics for anyone who then later on has kids, and they're just like, oh, I would never watch Bleach. That show's so old. And we're just like, well, when that show came out, I didn't think it was old.
Oh my God, Jerry, you're 38. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sorry. Everyone's revealing their ages in the chat.
Yeah, I know. I'm finding. I thought, to be honest, here's the sad thing. I thought you guys were both around my age, because I'm going to be 24 this year.
Oh my God.
But
no, 30. Hashtag 30.
But the thing that, like what Shay brought up about, you know, like them being like, oh, that's old. I think that's also something too that I've seen it more in the video game industry, where, you know, growing up you have associated as classics, so it's easier for you to go back and play those, or, you know, in the case of anime, it's easier to go back and watch those. But if you're talking like, I mean, this is actually way before I was born, but like there's three really like old anime that I watch religiously still over and over, and two of them had their very first air date in 1978, and those two are Space Pirate Captain Harlock and Galaxy Express 999.
Oh my God.
And they are weird. The art style is what is it? But it's so, to me, it's so good because the animes that I was exposed to growing up by my friends, while there were some new ones, they were often like these really old, obscure ones that like were like forerunners in like their field. And like one, like there was another anime called Dalos, which was considered the very first direct-to-video animated film ever released. And I mean, generation, you know, who are watching, you know, who grew up, you know, as their first anime is like Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, or Inuyasha, you know, going back, they'd be like, you know, like, I can't watch that. It's, you know, it's just too old. How could you, you know, how did anybody like this? And it's like, well, like Shay said, you know, at the time it's what we had growing up. So for us, it's classic and it's enthralling and it's engaging. So, but I think that's, you know, something that struggles because, like I said, it's more easily seen in the video game industry where if you show a kid today like a Nintendo 64 game, they're like, oh my gosh, it's potato graphics. How did you ever play that?
Yeah. But it's also to say the same thing that was at the time revolutionary graphics.
Yeah.
Like for us, that was like the new hit thing. The same with animation, you know, while we might look at it and be like, oh my God, I can't see how I watched this animation so bad. But it's also like the animation for its time was amazing. The same with games, you know, like I remember playing NFL Blitz on Nintendo 64 with my brother. And now I see sports games now for a PS4 and Xbox. And I'm like, these graphics are amazing. Like, how did I play NFL Blitz? Because that just looked like dots on a screen now compared to before. But then I have to think back though, you know, back then, you know, that was like revolutionary graphics for its time, where everyone was like, this is the new hit thing and it's amazing and it's wonderful, and see how the graphics are so great. And now it's like, those graphics aren't that great now that we have this.
Right.
And I feel like it's the same thing with anime, you know, like we see the older ones and everyone's like, no, the animation's not the best. You know, the animation's kind of ugly. How'd you watch this? And it's just like, well, for our time, this was revolutionary. Now I sound old saying for our time. Like, I sound like I'm 80.
Back in the day.
Back in the day when I was like, yeah, we walked 40 miles to school. No, I didn't. I didn't walk 40 miles to school.
There you go, Shay. Everyone did a representation of herself when she's 60. We'll be 60 years old in a rocking chair.
What anime should I watch today?
I wouldn't say 60 because my own dad is 60. Well, he'll be 61 and he's not in a rocking chair just yet. I'm gonna go with 80.
I'm not going in some rocking chair yet. Sorry.
Not yet. Not yet.
See, it's weird that like when I think of like when I'll be like older, that, you know, like nowadays, like my grandparents, because like I always think of it from a music standpoint. It's like my grandparents listen to their country music, their gospel music and stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, when I'm probably 80 or something, am I still going to be listening to Moe Japanese anime openings?
Yeah.
I'm still going to be listening to Boom Boom Satellites.
But it's even like it makes me even think about music that I listened to when I like R&B, I like rap, I like, you know, what's considered old school, like stuff my parents listened to and stuff like that. And they even had this thing out like, these are the songs turning 20 this year. And I'm just like, oh my God, these are songs turning 15 or 10 years old. I'm just like thinking back, I'm like, 10 years ago, I was 16. And it's hard for me to think that there's now kids that are now, you know, listening to these songs going, I don't know who these people are. And I'm just like, oh, I remember this song, dancing to this song at dances. And it's hard for me to realize that they're playing this song and saying it's old. And me saying like, oh my God. Or even like MTV does it all the time. Like they always show every summer, they'll always show the Laguna Beach episodes. Any of you guys who watched Laguna Beach or know what Laguna Beach is, like they used to air that, and that aired in like 2004, 2005. And they're like flashback. And I'm like, this was not a flashback. I was 14 when this aired. Like, I can't see how this is considered an old show. I'm upset.
Oh, in the chat, everyone's having a sing-along to the Backstreet Boys. You got them all feeling back to their childhood. Yes, I listen to Backstreet. I listen to the Backstreet Boys still to this day.
I was an NSYNC fan as a kid. I liked Backstreet Boys, but once I knew about NSYNC, I was like, or like the Spice Girls. Like I loved the Spice Girls as a kid. I had their CD. I mean, I had tapes, and I know some people like it's the same way to think about any kind of technology. I mean, I have cousins who see a VCR tape and go, what is this? I'm just like, oh my God. Before DVDs.
VCR.
And you had to rewind it, and you couldn't just get to your favorite scene because you would have to rewind it, press play, hope you were there, and press stop and rewind again if you weren't there yet. And then if you broke the tape, that was it.
I'm jealous of like the people that owned anime on VHS tape.
I have some.
I never did. I mean, like for example, someone mentioned the good old Saturday mornings. You know, I miss my Saturday mornings. Like a ritual for me would be to watch. Yeah, a ritual for me would be to see Beyblade and have to record it before I went to my nana's. And then after I'd come home and I just binge watch one single episode because I'm lame.
Yeah.
So
I had the Saturday morning cartoons. I had anime on VHS. I had an episode of Sailor Moon on VHS, and the episode of Sailor Moon I had was a reluctant princess when she found out that when they realized she was actually the Moon Princess. And then I have the Sailor Moon R movie, which is now currently in theaters or was in theaters. I have that on VHS.
I'm so jealous. It's in theaters for you right now.
Yep, I had the Sailor Moon, the movie S, Hearts and Ice on VHS. And I also had several Dragon Ball Z VHS tapes. I had the History of Trunks on VHS. And yeah, I had that on VHS. And then, of course, my brother was a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. So he actually had the Dragon Ball Z action figures, like the Super Saiyan Goku. He has Super Saiyan Trunks. Yeah. So I have some anime stuff as a kid.
No, someone just mentioned in the chat, what the hell?
Trat.
Bruce City says, do kids even play outside anymore? They lose their mind if the internet shut down. True.
Well,
I said my sister's one of them.
I think due to Pokemon Go, it got more kids outside because they were forced to go outside.
Pokemon Go, and now the hype's died down for that.
Yeah, I think it's.
Go on, Shay. Oh, we lost Shay.
I think hold
on. I think she's trying to. This nearly happens. I think the last time we lost her again, the last episode. Maybe she doesn't like us anymore.
I'm still here.
Oh, there you are. I was just saying.
Sorry, for some reason it keeps going in and out. So this is how.
Maybe I said to everyone, maybe all the nostalgia is getting to her. She had to leave for a sec for a cry of all the memories.
I think my computer's trying to go back into the 90s and it's trying not to work. I think that's what my computer's doing. My computer's saying no.
I know. The computer says no. If anyone knows what that line's from, you get a gold star. Computer says no. If anyone knows that line, that is a famous line. It's a famous meep, actually, if you Google it. If anyone Googles it, you can tell me what show that's from. It's from a British comedy. That's the clue. I love that saying. Someone mentioned Tokyo Mew Mew. Oh my god. I remember
Tokyo
when
Mew Mew.
I didn't watch that show, but I heard about it.
Oh, I've only seen up to episode 6 and I want to binge watch the whole thing. But back then I was so focused on English. I wanted to watch everything in English. My love for subbed anime didn't exist then. And I really wanted to see all that series. And then when I discovered that there was a subbed version, when I was getting into more watching anime and subbed, I'm like, oh, I need to binge watch this.
Yeah.
I only showed a few episodes. Oh, Josh, you sound disgusted.
No, I'm just laughing.
It's a magical girl. Well, it's not really a magical girl.
The thing that a lot of people don't know, my very first manga was actually Tokyo Mew Mew.
Oh my god, but that manga's so cute! Like, it's so cute. I love that manga.
See, I didn't get into manga until super late. I got into anime more first, and then I got into manga.
Someone just mentioned Sonic X. I love you, Matthew.
Go fast.
That was religious as much as Beyblade was for me.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch.
I
don't know if I really watched the Sonic cartoon that much. I played the games a lot, but I don't know if I really watched the show. I did it.
There's so many episodes. I used to own all the single DVD volumes that Australia released, but then they stopped releasing them, and I sold them. That is a very bad regret I have that I sold them.
Such regret.
You guys remember when Card Captor Sakura used to air like the dub version where they had like the English names, where Tomoyo's name was Madison?
Yes.
And I used to like the show. I loved it.
I'd never seen the subbed. Okay. I'd never seen the subbed version of Card Captor Sakura until I watched till my sister bought me the movie just this Christmas gone, the second movie. And I gotta say, the I thought it was the original dub all the way up. No, it is not.
No, the sub version is a lot better.
Yes, it's a lot
It's a
better.
lot
Do
better.
not watch the dub version
Yeah.
of the sealed card, because
I think
you'll be traumatized. If you like the original English dub of Cardcaptor Sakura, it's not the same.
Mm-mm. It's very different. But it also goes to show about they were marketing it for kids. So they had to, you know, take stuff out or censor some stuff. And of course, that's what they had to do.
Kira sounded like a kid that just swallowed a whistle or something.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me.
And then
Madison sounded like someone had sucked her voice out of her.
Yeah. I had to actually remember what the original dub sounded like, because when I started back watching Cardcaptor Sakura, I watched it subtitled, and then I was just like, I remember this show dubbed, but I don't remember what it sounded like, and I looked it up, and I was just like, oh my god, like this is terrible. But
Poor
it's also
kids dub.
but it's also like with Pokemon. Like I remember when, you know, Pokemon aired Saturday mornings, and I would get up in the mornings and watch Pokemon religiously.
It reminds me so much growing up, because like during like that period of like what I call the first North American golden age of anime, like between like the 2000s and I think like 2007, when like I said earlier, every network had their own anime thing. That's the thing. Like you would have like 4Kids, or I think there's like a channel called X-Blade or something that had like a little like mascot with like an X with like a face in the middle, and Toonami, of course. And like you would have the same like episode of Yu-Gi-Oh on each network, but each network did their own dubbing for it, and then each network did their own opening song for the anime. So like you had like these Americanized openings. And there's one very infamous anime that you guys can actually go find on Crunchyroll that debuted in 2007, and it's called Ghost Stories, and it has the most slapstick silly English scripting, because they got the Japanese script. It was so horrendously translated that they basically just told their little VA department, like, hey, just go wild and do what you want to do. Stick with like it as best as you can. And like there's like a little kid character that like literally all his lines are just and it's like everyone's just like, shut up, you know, you're making too much noise. And it's like they're like all these like little kids, but it's just like during that time frame, it's like you like watching those dubs was like you're watching it at your own risk.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been recommended Ghost Stories before, and the English dub is supposed to be quite interesting and good. And someone just mentioned Dragon Ball Z opening. You know how many? Yeah. I always had this silly little ritual as well. When I was, anytime the Beyblade especially the Beyblade, the Sonic X, and the Dragon Ball Z opening song would come on, I made up a dance for each of them. So every time it came on, I'd do my dance, and most of the time my mum would be standing in the doorway watching me, look like a fool. This was when I was even still 10 or 11 years old. Oh my god, it sounds so old. And yeah, I still remember my dance I used to do to Sonic X. Oh, the memories. And then like the dragon bit, I'd be like screaming, dragon, I'm doing dragon Ball. You know, I'd sound like this. I sound like sorry,
I wasn't even like that with Dragon Ball Z, because my brother was a bigger fan of Dragon Ball Z than I was. So my brother would watch it, and I didn't understand really the point of Dragon Ball Z, because at the same time that Dragon Ball Z was airing, so was Pokemon. So I was a bigger Pokemon fan than I was of Dragon Ball Z. So I didn't really get into Dragon Ball Z until I think when Toonami started airing the Dragon Ball Z episodes, and I was so morbid with Dragon Ball Z. I only wanted to watch it because of the fact that they were on the Frieza saga, and I only wanted to watch it to see Frieza kill Krillin and to see Goku turn Super Saiyan. That was the only reason why I wanted to watch it on Toonami, and then I finally watched more.
That is a horrible. That is a horrible scene, and then Goku loses his ape shit. That's like most
right. Because my brother knew more about the show than I did. So he was like, oh, this is what happens. I was like, okay. And then I was like, I wanted to watch it.
I mean, even now, I've got like the Dragon Ball Z opening theme on my phone, and I'll play it randomly.
Like one thing I didn't realize was that Dragon Ball Z had 2 different dubs. And they had one dub that was American from Funimation. And they had another dub that was from Canada. And I didn't realize this until way later.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it either until I was watching channels on YouTube. And this guy was like, oh, he voiced Piccolo. And I was like, that doesn't sound like the Piccolo I know. I knew that Piccolo was voiced by Chris Sabat, because Chris Sabat voiced like almost every character in the original Dragon Ball Z. So when this guy was like, oh, I voiced Piccolo, and he was talking about it, and he was just like, I guess Canada had their own dub of Dragon Ball Z, and they switched around a lot of things with the Dragon Ball Z dub. Like, I know Funimation didn't get their script from Japan. They got their original script from Mexico. So that's why people were like, you're saying the names wrong. They're like, we got the script from Mexico.
Than I do. She knows more about Dragon Ball Z than any of us.
And they said that the reason why, and they said with some of the, like, the reason why Chris Sabat voiced almost every character is because Funimation was broke. Like, Funimation did not have all these voice, like a huge voice actor pool to pull from. So that's why voiced a lot of the characters.
I mean, I didn't even know about Funimation. I didn't even know about Funimation, who they were, what they did, up until I'd say 5 years ago. I didn't know who the hell they were. People were asking me like, don't know. Some people were shocked. Some people were shocked they are.
Funimation's like the bigwig of like anime. Besides Viz, I think even with Viz, you know, Funimation's like probably number 1, and then Viz is like number 2, and I think there's like
is she?
I think we lost her again.
I lost her again. Oh no. Google Hangouts, you are failing, Shay. How dare you? I'm gonna slap somebody in a minute.
And
no.
She's back. She's back.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I don't know what
I said Google Hangouts hates us, and I'm going to slap somebody in a minute.
That's why I'm here. So
I'm gonna
she can smack me.
Yeah, that's why you're here. Josh is our personal slapper bag. No. No. I am not that cruel.
I need to go to Twitter now and add that as like my official tagline now.
Yeah. Taku says, I didn't even know industry talk until I started buying and collecting more. That's exactly how I think that's how it is for a lot of people. Oh, Jiro, the internet can't handle Shay. Yeah, they can't handle Shay. Can't touch Shay. No, I was really trying to do a rap then.
I don't know why. I know they can't handle me.
Can't handle the truth.
No. I know they don't like me talking about the industry, but I don't know. For me, I learned more about the industry by watching panels and learning more about the industry, how it works, how they get a hold of shows, and how they have to go through like many different places to get all of it. So like they have to go like to get the show and then to get the music. So that's why they said sometimes some shows don't have the original music, is because they didn't get the rights to the music. So they only got the rights to the show, but not the music. Or why sometimes the dubs not sound different, but the writing is so different, and they're just like, because they can't do a literal translation because it doesn't make sense sometimes. So they're like, we gotta change it, or they gotta change the jokes because Americans won't get the jokes that the Japanese got because they're suited for Japan, and they gotta change stuff around so that we understand it more. Or how some shows, like for example with Shin-chan and with Panty and Stocking, they told the writers of the show, they said, forget the script, write your own script and make it how you want to make it. And with Panty and Stocking, they were just like, make it as crude as you can because we want to use it as learning material for American slang. And they were just like, okay, let's try this.
See, the panels, like, when I hear people, like, whenever I watch vlogs or I listen to people talking about, like, conventions they've gone to and panels, like, over, like, where you guys are in America, it really is, we don't get that much talk about studios or industry kind of talk over where I am, some of the conventions I've attended. And, you know, it's kind of made me want to, like, expand and go to different conventions and interstate now, and obviously in the world really now, particularly America for me, obviously. I don't know, I haven't decided on my future. There's too many future American conventions I want to go to.
You should definitely
Too
go.
many.
It's really cool to go to them, and also,
Yeah.
I know.
yeah,
Because then I can meet all of you.
Exactly.
Oh, no, I'd have to meet individually, round trip.
yeah.
Readers World Tour.
You only
Right?
need to
My
go
world
to
tour.
LA. You only need to go to California for Shay, Lynn, and Matthew, and then you'll just need to come out to
I love it. Yeah, that's actually quite a
the
good
city
people I
to
talk
meet
They're all
Takudo
in
and
California.
Crimson and I.
Yes, and yeah, fan anime. There's quite a few that I know. There's a bunch that I think are going to fan anime this year.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it'll probably be a long wait.
Yeah. But you should definitely, you definitely would love the panels because you learn so much.
I know.
Like,
I mean,
you-
I have watched them online.
Yeah,
when the country restriction is not against me.
Yeah,
But
it's cool to learn a lot. Like, it's cool to learn also how each voice actor got into anime voice acting, and half of them fell into it. Like, they're like, I didn't plan it. It just happened. Some of them are like, one of them said that he got tricked into it. Like, they told him to come in to voice a couple of episodes, and he signed something that was like, okay, so you're signed onto the show. You just did 6 episodes. And he's just like, wait, what? Like, I didn't know this. I thought I was auditioning. They're like, no, you did the show.
I have listened to voice actor panels that have come here. The ones I most enjoyed was like Sean Zemmel, Todd Habercorn, Lucy Christian, and the last one I attended was Caitlin Glass. She talked about how she got into voice acting and stuff, and it was good. Those are the ones I most enjoyed.
Yeah,
as of recent. So
I did J. Michael Tatum's.
I want to meet that guy.
I got to meet him. I got to take a picture with him. He's so nice.
He needs to come to Australia.
I met when I was there. It was at SAC Anime, and Brina Palencia was also there. I didn't get a chance to meet her.
I love her. I love her. And people are going to be shocked, but I would love to meet Monica Rial.
Yes,
the squeakiest, highest pitched voice ever, but I love her.
I also got to meet Laura Bailey, and I got to meet Travis. I got to meet Travis Willingham.
Yeah, you got to meet Travis Willingham, you lucky duck.
He's like,
and the best part was when I was standing in line, because I win SAC Anime generally for September always falls around my birthday. So when I went, it was my 25th birthday when I went. So I wore my Dragon Ball Z. I wore my Dragon Ball Z tank top, and Travis was like, I like your shirt. And I was like, I had to look down to remember what shirt I was wearing. And I was wearing my Dragon Ball Z shirt, and he's a big fan of Dragon Ball Z. So I was like, yay. And I got to meet Johnny Young Bosch.
I want to meet Josh Grail.
Yeah.
Amazing.
There's a lot I want to
meet. He blew me away as Zen in Snow White with red hair. I'm like, oh, you killed it. You killed it. So oh dear, you guys are sending me down memory lane.
You're welcome.
Shay got to, I really want to meet Travis Willingham because he's one of my favorite English voice actors. The 2 people though that I 3 people. Matthew Mercer, who does the thing is, Troy Baker is another really popular English dubber. If Troy Baker can't do the work, it will always be Matthew Mercer. And if you compare their voicing together, you won't be able to tell the difference because that's how good they are. But Matt Mercer is such a freaking nerd. He actually runs a D&D game that I saw you watch Critical Role with.
Oh my god, I love Critical Role
stuff. And it's so great because I love Travis Willingham's voice, kind of Travis is this really talented individual. He can play really great characters like Roy Mustang, and then he plays his character in D&D who's a bumbling buffoon barbarian, Grog.
Grog.
But
he's so stupid.
Right. The only other VAs I got to meet personally was Ayu Sakata and Mike Solu saw it at last year's NakaCon, which was awesome and fun.
Yeah, he was
lovable.
He was Soul and Soul Eater, right, Micah?
Solisov was Soul Evans. Ayu Sakata actually does a lot of the directing work. She's actually the She was the voice director for Assassination Classroom Season 2, if I'm not mistaken.
I loved.
They're actually married now.
What? That's so cool.
Oh no!
Right, I liked
Loki getting married. Don't get married, Josh Brill.
Right. I liked hearing with Micah, like how he talked about how he got the role of Soul. Like he auditioned for Funimation, but he lived in Hawaii. So he flew out there for the audition, then flew back to Hawaii like within like less than 24 hours. And then he found out he got the part. And there's like, oh yeah, you got the part. And he's like, okay, well, I'm in Hawaii. They didn't know he lived in Hawaii. So they had to fly back to like record for it. And I was like, that's crazy. And he was on like their wait list. Like
dedication.
Right? He was on their wait list to get called in, and that's how he got the part. Lucky duck.
Lucky.
Someone said they want to. Someone said they want to voice Mickey Mouse. Oh, Matt, you have to have the right voice.
I want to voice Mickey Mouse.
I remember I had the honor. This is sort of anime related, but I had the honor of meeting Bill Farmer, and he does the voice of Goofy for Disney.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, he's an amazing man. Oh, he did the voice right then and there for me. I'm like, I know you've probably been requested this a lot in your time, but can you please do the voice for me? He's like, sure. I'm like, oh.
Sure.
I don't even know what I would do if I like met an anime voice actor outside of a convention, because they don't get noticed very often, because of course anime is not a huge thing like us. You know, we would probably know who they are, but I think only a couple of them have said they've actually been noticed outside of the convention, and they said it's always in a random spot like a video store. They're like, hey, you boys are like, yeah.
Yeah, I did that. That happened with me with Todd Habercorn. He was like outside the convention standing out there, and I never normally shout out to people, like famous people like that, but I don't know, I couldn't hold back. I'm like, hi, Todd. I'm like, what am I doing? And then he waves, hi. I'm like, I got a hi. Oh, that's no, it was better when I met him, that I got to talk with him for like 15 minutes. Everyone thinks I'm so lucky that people I've met, I've been able to like talk with for quite some time, and there's like been no one in the line. That happened with him and another voice actor, which was good, but nothing can beat the memory that I had with Chris Sabat, which was good. Oh, memories.
I love Chris Sabat.
Oh, he's like amazing.
He's like the man of many voices.
You guys, I think you guys have heard what happened when I met him. I think people here have heard what happened, but I'll repeat if no one's really heard. But I was standing. This happened 2 years ago. I was standing in line, and I bought these like sour long apple sweet things. So they look like licorice, and I got up to the it was my turn in the line. And I said hi, and can you sign this? Blah blah blah. And then I said, look, hey, I'm sure here is a little sugar rush for you. And he's like, oh, well, thank you. I definitely need that. And then he calls over one of the people and says, hey, can you get me the microphone? Oh, I was thinking, what's going on? And then the next minute, everything goes dead silent. And he grabs the microphone and says, I just got a sugar rush. Over 9,000, and you're like, it echoes through the entire convention, through every single speaker, and you can hear it. And then everyone starts laughing, and I'm like bright red. I am, and I was like, oh my god, I was. You know, you have those moments where you're like, you don't know what's coming.
Yeah,
that was one of these. So that was like one of my best con moments. I'm like, oh.
Excellent.
So good.
Speaking of con moments. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes? No, go on.
No, go ahead. No, go.
I'm done. I'm done. Ladies done. Jen, go.
I was just going to say, though, speaking of good con conventions, say anything for you to the voice actor for Tuxedo Man?
Oh, please don't say that. No, don't say that. Don't say that. No.
Because I know Matthew in the comments over there, Mr. I Want to Meet Ray Chase, will probably like beat me senseless because Ray Chase, of course, Robbie Damon, who voices Tuxedo Man, will be at this year's NakaCon convention.
Kill me, kill me, kill me.
Here mainly because of their recent work with Final Fantasy 15, but yeah, it's going to be probably a pretty convention this year.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I'm going to try to work something in for Matthew, but
I'm sorry, I'm going to totally...
if you guys want me to say anything...
No, I'm totally going to ignore your tweet, your Twitter that day. You go. I'm going to ignore it the whole weekend.
If I get him to say anything towards you two, I will just tag you senseless.
Oh my God, please.
Please do. Please do. Oh, just say he loves Serena. I'm like, just do that.
Say it.
Oh my God, this conversation has gone from cartoons to voice actors. Oh, this is why I love what we do here. And I'm gonna get you. So, wow, what's so funny? Seriously,
Takuto in the chat. Robbie will sign my lips with his Sharpie.
Oh, Sharpie.
Oh my God.
Yes, Taku. You think of the best freaking ideas. He's gonna sign Josh's lips, and it's gonna.
Well, no, because Takuto actually lives in the same area, so he actually goes to NakaCon as well.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot. Oh my God, you guys are gonna hang out all day. No meeting once. You guys are gonna hang out all day. I demand it.
I demand it too, but he's only there for like a day.
I will tweet the hell out of you.
Like that's what happened. Like, Crimson and I were like literally like the whole Saturday, like we started that whole hashtag finding Takuto on Twitter. Like, everybody was like feverishly like, where's Takuto? Where is he?
I just call him Taku because I started calling his proper name. Oh, I'm so happy when you guys are going to meet up again. When is the con anyway? NakaCon?
This March 10th to the 13th.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not far away then. Exciting. No, I expect a big...
It's always my birthday present to myself.
Oh, that's all right. You better do like a live stream there or something. Yes, you have to do a live stream, like a Twitter live stream.
Since I have my own... Since I have a better data plan, I'm planning on actually doing a Periscope while I'm there.
Yes, Taku and Crimson, everyone, you have to get in the stream, and I want to see. If I don't see, I'm going to not be a happier leader. I'm not going to be a happier leader. But we'll get back onto the topic of lesser-known shows. Technically, we did talk about, the old, the new, and the past. It all counts. We'll run through another, we'll give you guys in the chat, we'll give you guys, or anyone who's listening to this, another suggestion of a series that no one's probably ever heard of. I'm going to get Shay to give us another one that she feels that should be talked about more or that you have seen.
Sure. Me first or me going or?
Yeah, you. Yeah, you, Shay.
Me? Okay. Let's see what I can... drag up let's see
drug up everything.
Let's see if I can drug up here as far as for shows.
But animated drug, that's good enough,
right? So one of them I'm actually going to bring up is actually a show that I talked about briefly just because I talked about the dub, the person that's in it, and it's Speedgrapher, and it is a lesser known anime. At least I feel it's lesser known. I haven't met many people that's seen Speedgrapher. If you have not seen it, be forewarned. It is on the more mature side. It is rated R.
Is it rated R? Really?
It is rated R. It's rated R.
Rated R.
Due to mild nudity is why it is rated R.
Oh, well, I'm all for it.
I know. Oh, my God. It aired into...
Oh, mild nudity. Oh, my God, I'm going to see a boob.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. as far as for me to let you guys know, as far as along the lines of how dark this show can go. So basically, this guy gets a camera, and if he aims the camera at someone, he can potentially kill them with his camera. And the basis is around a girl whom is being abused by her mother. And in one of the episodes, you have a character that is evil who breaks a little girl's arm because she can't dance properly. Okay? To make this a little bit more, you guys understand why it's rated R. The little girl, the girl who's being abused by her mother, she then tells her teacher, or her teacher notices that things aren't right at this girl's home. And her teacher is female, and her teacher goes to her house to talk to her mother. The little girl then comes home, and there are breadcrumbs or food trailing from the front door to her mother's bedroom, to which she then eats the food. And as she gets to her mother's bedroom door, it is cracked open, and there she sees her mother sleeping with her teacher. And the mother did it on purpose to make sure the daughter saw this. And that is just a little bit as far as regarding this show, why it's rated R. It's still a really good show, but granted, when I first watched this show, I decided to watch it at my dad's house on the big screen TV, not knowing half the stuff was gonna happen. So I then turned it off and was like, I should watch this one at home, not on the big screen TV where anybody can walk in and be like,
I want to watch it now.
I actually have it on DVD. I actually found it.
Oh, really?
Used.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I found it used, so I bought so I have the box set. So,
oh, wow. Yay, that's what I'm going to go look on your eBay later. Speedgrapher.
So, if any of you guys watch Speedgrapher, be warned, there is some adult material in it. And if you are someone that is very sensitive to those particular topics or themes in a show, do not watch it. Because I don't want anyone saying, Shay told me to watch this show, and it did this. You're warned.
Oh, everyone! I'm sorry, dear. Everyone was probably going to blame me in the end anyway.
Please don't.
Speedgrapher. I thought it was ever since I've heard of the title. I didn't know what it was about until just now, but I thought it was about cars because of the name of it. No, I just thought it was about cars.
I wish it was about cars, but it's not.
It's about dark shit. That's the dark shit. Anyway, Josh, do you have a lesser-known show suggestion for us? That show that you
really like most of mine are ones that like after I'm done watching on Crunchyroll, I just literally just go through the list and like, oh, that sounds good.
Expand yourself, mate. Expand yourself.
It's another small title that no one's heard of called Kill la Kill. No, I'm joking. It's called Aoi
yes,
Hana.
You know how much you love that show.
To put that in perspective, I now have three copies of the hardcover volume 2, but that's a different story. Anime that is very small and I don't see talked about hardly at all is Aoi Hana, Sweet Blue Flowers, and it's another LGBT focused one that, like how Yuri on Ice wasn't a traditional yaoi in the sense that, it's overly fan servicey and so on. Aoi Hana is the same thing, but Yuri, and it's basically just exploring this female character who's trying to come to terms with how different she is, and she likes women and she's confused. She doesn't know what to do. And it starts out with kind of like she tries to confess that to her cousin that she likes her, and her cousin's like, well, I'm getting married and I'm not a kid anymore type thing. And so she's just so distraught, and so basically just following her through her high school life and her finding love and trying to figure out whether or not this is something that's very much her, and if this is something that she's happy about. And again, this one's like a short one. I think it's just 10 or 11 episodes, but it's really sweet. The art style is fantastic. It has a really, really sweet and upbeat opening, which is very, very nice. And really, in terms of fan service, there's pretty much zero, if you're not counting the small scene where like they're nakedly silhouetted in the opening. That's the only part where you actually see anything at all. But like, in terms of like tameness, like this is like the most tame like Yuri anime that is possibly out there in existence. Probably aside from like Anne Manchu, which was, you know, it had some undertones, but yeah, Sweet Blue Flowers is the one that I think is a nice little sweet gem, and that one was actually 2009. So
you surprised me with suggesting a Yuri. I was not expecting that.
most of the small niche ones that I've watched recently have been like LGBT focused.
Yeah, and and you know, eventually I'd like to do a podcast. I'm sure Shay will go along with anything, won't you, Shay?
I'm along for the ride.
I'd like to do a podcast episode talking about like all these, because last night someone tagged me in something on Twitter, I think it was, through a message, that a YouTuber named Digibro, if anyone's ever heard of Digibro, he did a couple of videos talking about sound euphonium and talking about how, you know, there's this, you know, Yuri concept between two of the characters. I have not seen that show yet. I want to see it because it's KyoAni. I freaking love KyoAni. Don't care what anyone says. And he's talking about it looks too pretty and it's just baiting fans because they're not really a Yuri couple, but they're portrayed through the animation and all these little close snippets they have together as they are kind of like one. And he calls it queer baiting, and some of the things that he said I like completely disagreed with. And yeah, I'd like to do an episode talking about how anime handles, you know, all these baiting types. You know, Yuri on Ice and Sound Euphonium are pretty actually good examples. There's some shows I've seen, but yeah, that'd be a good thing. Feel like that would be a good topic to talk about and explore, really, because like Yuri and Yaoi, they've not been the biggest genres. They haven't. And like this year, there's like 2 Yuris coming out this year, which I'm excited about. It's okay. Yuri and Yaoi is not for everybody, obviously. But yeah, that'd be something to like. That'd be a good podcast episode to talk about. I think we'll have you in that too, Josh. I reckon.
All right. It would be too, because then also we can kind of. I mean, there is a disproportionate amount of Yuri, especially when compared to Yaoi titles. When you're actually thinking about the larger spectrum of it. Yeah, and I'll give my suggestion of a lesser known show. This is one of my favorites, actually. I absolutely love this show, and it's called Jubei the Ninja Girl. There's 2 seasons of it, but basically it's about this guy named Koinosuke, who is sent on a mission. He's on a mission for 500 years. He eventually becomes a relic, pretty much, and he has to find the one that will wear the lovely eye patch. It is like in the heart shape, and you put it, it's like in the shape of an eye patch. He has to find the one that will be known as Yagyu Jubei, and he finds this girl named Jubei. She's like 15. Gio Nanahana, really, her name is. And she ends up becoming the one that will be the reincarnation of Yagyu Jubei. It's a really like silly comedy. It's about this grudge also, and it's about a past battle that happened between Yagyu Jubei and between 2 swordsmanship schools. It's about samurai ninja swordsmanship. It's about and relating back to the past. It is about these 2 swordsmanship schools. The 2 leaders of those schools had a battle, and one of them lost, and they've been holding this 500-year-old grudge, and then people from that time period come back to the present to try and kill pretty much Yagyu Jubei, or they can't settle their grudge. And it's not really a serious series. It's not a series that you're meant to take seriously. It's just really, really funny, and I love the animation style. It's quite quirky, and it's quite a little bit
out there, and there is a second season that was made later on, but the first season was made in 1998. So it's a 90s anime, and it's definitely one that no one's ever heard of. So I've mentioned it and they're like, what? So it's a dear favorite for me. And the second season kind of continues on from the first season, but I feel like the second season is a little bit unnecessary. But I love the original soundtrack to that. Oh my god, I love the music. I love this one particular song from it. It's this mix of like samurai with modern. Oh, it's so good. In the end fight. Oh, but yeah. Jubei the Ninja Girl. You guys should check it out. It's a good comedy. It's a good series to have a laugh with. It is so.
Yeah, and I'm going to transplant a description from the official Wikipedia page that I mean, if this doesn't sell you on it, I mean, tells his loyal companion to find someone with the plump, bouncy bonbons.
Oh god, I forgot that was there. Oh god. Yeah, it's that's I feel like I can't remember that that's actually said in the series. That's what I mean by it's funny. Jiro, I know Jiro likes this show as well. I forgot that he actually enjoys this show, so that's all right. He can second my motion. So, and you know, another thing is that you guys can give your opinion on this as well. We'll probably wrap up in a bit anyway. You know, I feel it's good that, you know, the good that anime YouTubers exist, because that, you know, people are still reviewing anime, older series. You know, reviewing older series is still a way for people, if they want to expand watching different shows, then that's why people continue to do reviews. And what's your opinion on that, guys? I'll get Shay to start off.
Say it again.
I said I'll get you to start off, Shay.
What was the question?
She's got excellent listening skills.
I know.
Your opinion on finding that it's good that anime YouTubers exist, and that is it good that people are still reviewing older shows? That's why people can find out about these shows from now into the future.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I mean, without other people knowing about those older shows, no one would watch them. As far as for anime reviewers overall, I mean, it's just like having a movie critic. You know, many of us, or a lot of people, you know, watch a movie based off of what a critic says. If a critic says, or like Rotten Tomatoes, what we have out here, you know, if it has a super high rating, you know, we'll say, oh, people say it's really good, let's go watch it. Or if it has a super low rating, people won't watch it.
I don't pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't either. I don't pay attention so much to what other people say about a show, because I still want to give my own opinion about it and see if it is as bad or as good as they say. And then, to be honest, in some ways, though, I can't help but feel like hearing someone else talk about a show sometimes skews my opinion of a show, because what they say is automatically in my head. Like if they're like, oh, I hated the opening was complete crap. And then I watch the show and I hear the opening, in my head I'm thinking the opening's complete crap, because that's what I'm hearing. But I feel like it's still a good thing that they're around, because I feel like a lot of people still do watch them. Now, do people still appreciate them? No, not really. Because I feel like, because I feel like people are still going to have their own opinion.
Yeah. I mean, like, you've got... like, for example, you've got like a very big kind of anime reviewer, you know, Glass Reflection, Adaka. He has got an influence in his reviews, and he's some of them I watched in the past have convinced me to check out some of those shows. And yeah, there are some. I'll admit there are some reviewers out there that have that influence to want to make you check out the show. But as for like appreciating how much work goes into an anime review. No, not a lot of people will, you know, appreciate that, doing the script writing, everything. But at the end of the day, if you're satisfied with all the reviews you do, pretty much if you're satisfied with what you do and, you know, you keep pumping out those anime reviews of shows that you love, then you should just, go for it. So I like, for me personally, I don't think I'm the best like person to give like, my thoughts on anime. I haven't done one of those videos for so long, goddamn. But I'll still do it because I want certain series to be still known, still anime is like this treasure. Anime is like a treasure chest. It's full of so many random gems, rubies. You never know what you're gonna find. That's what I love about anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your take on this, Josh?
I mean, I very much agree with that too. I mean, anime reviewers, there's a lot of them that go kind of, unjustified. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Correct.
Well, some of them can be like, I mean, like I feel like this. I don't watch a lot of reviews that go on for so long. The longest I've seen anime review for goes for an hour. I'm like, oh my god, this was going about a year ago. I think I found that video. I'm like, I watched the first few minutes and I'm like, sorry, I can't. Sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like they do serve their purpose. I mean, especially if they're reviewing like older series. I mean, it helps in some essence to get those titles more exposure. Those people that end up watching the older ones, they see their favorite studios like, Studio Madhouse, Studio Bones, Toei Animation. They get to see where they came from, essentially. And, then they more or less develop a better appreciation for the actual studios and what they are today. Because, once they view those, they're more inclined to probably even just go and purchase anime goods, figures, keychains, plushies, etc. on those titles. And that, in effect, kind of goes back and gives the anime industry a little bit of an extra uplift in terms of profit sales. And I mean, and it helps people like me kind of get exposed. I mean, I just started watching Bleach for the very first time just literally 2 weeks ago because I don't know if he's the biggest Bleach YouTuber, but James Hansen, who's pretty prominent in the
good friend James.
Yeah, in the Bleach anime community. I mean, he's part of the reason why I'm watching this, because I always had this kind of grudge against longer anime, and I'm giving it a chance, and I'm just absolutely in love with it. And it's getting me to kind of then want to go out to Barnes & Noble and buy the manga sets. So, I mean...
Someone hasn't convinced me to watch One Piece yet. Still waiting for that.
It's okay. I haven't seen One Piece either, so you're not the one.
But I mean, I think they very much do have a good portion. It's just some of them will go unnamed because I work with them in certain other jobs and I don't want them to be mad. But some of them, I think, are just literally doing it just for that self-entitled feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I've done this and I obviously know more than you, so ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I won't watch someone if they've got that attitude.
Yeah. I think honestly also why a lot of older animes are still reviewed is because the storylines are so wonderfully written. And while the animation may not be that great, it may not be the best, I feel like a lot of newer anime fans or a lot of newer animes that are out, some of the storylines are storylines that have been redone over and over again, so there's not as much depth, even though they look pretty. And I feel like with a lot of the older animes, there's a lot more depth to the series where it makes you think a lot more. Like, for me, Nana is a series that I still know and love. Paradise Kiss is a series I know and love a lot. And while it's not the prettiest of anime shows, the shows are pretty freaking amazing. And they made me think a lot. And, and they definitely shaped a lot of like either things I was going through or how I wanted to be or stuff like that. And it was, and a lot of them weren't cliche. Like Paradise Kiss, ending was not a cliche anime ending that you would typically think would happen. It ended not even with the cliffhanger, but it ended great. but it didn't end how you thought it was going to end, and you were okay with that ending. You know, you weren't like, dang, like that was it. Like, I wish there was more. It ended in a way where you were like, I never thought it would end that way, but I'm okay with it. And they dealt with sometimes a lot of serious topics, like Full Moon wo Sagashite. I mean, the little girl on that show had throat cancer, and to deal with that topic in 1990, or when that show was released, which was like 2002 or something like that, that, you know, that's a depth of a show, and it shows you a lot. And with some of the newer shows, it's more so about how much action can we put in this show to make people enjoy it, but not really think about how depth or in how deep it can actually go.
Yeah, I agree. And like with shows like Nana and Paradise Kiss, there's not that many that I have seen that handle more adult themed things. You know, there's so many like high school romance type of animes, teenage, dealing with how you dealing with love and friendship in teenager years. Not so much adult. Obviously, Nana is one of those rare ones.
Yeah.
And I have yet to see another one like that. The last one that adult handling was Nana for me.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, for example, I'm hearing it is still high school romance, but like Scum's Wish this winter season, I still haven't watched that. I'm hearing it's more mature than it's letting on.
It is
right.
It is
now.
A very mature show. I'm watching it along with another podcast that I'm on. It was one of the 2 shows that we chose that we were all watching together. And it is a very, very mature show. It is a good show so far, but it is very, very mature. And some of the themes are kind of deep for a high school show, you know, with these kids being in high school, you know.
Yeah,
but
I unfortunately right now I can't find anywhere to watch it. I can't. It's not on Crunchyroll, and it's not
very hard to watch.
It's not on the anime subscription that I'm with, Anime Lab as well. So that's why I haven't seen it. I don't.
As of right now, it's only on animation. Amazon is the one that has it, because Amazon now has their own anime subscription service.
I don't really
but you have to be an Anime Prime. You have to be an Amazon Prime member to have
Amazon
access.
Prime. Well, Amazon Prime can't have my money right now, so.
I had to agree with you. So for me, I've had to go other ways to actually watch Scum's Wish. And as many of you guys know, I like to support the industry as much as I can. So I try to have subscriptions to as many services as possible. But for this one, I wasn't able to get a subscription for Amazon Prime. It's too expensive for me currently. So I'm not able to, but Scum's Wish, if you guys ever are able to actually check out the show, it is a good show, and it deals with a lot of very mature topics in the show. The only other show I could think of that dealt with mature topics was Clannad, and Clannad had me in tears, as well as Angel Beats, because it dealt with death. And it dealt with these kids in purgatory who didn't understand why they were there, or understood why they were there, but they were so angry. And the main character for me would touch me the most, because she was so angry with why she was the only one left with what happened to her and her backstory. And she was so angry with God for what happened, and cursing God for basically what happened to her. And that, to me, there's nothing realer than someone questioning their own existence and what happened to them, and blaming a higher power for it, and not understanding what's going on. Or even like Anohana, any series that I realized that deals with death and deals with a serious topic, like most of them have my vote, or deal with some deep topics where the character is going through something really crazy and having to really search deep in their soul for an answer. And that's really hard to get any kind of an answer.
Yeah, definitely agree. Older shows just seem to handle deeper plots a lot well. Like, I'll say Vision of Escaflowne. That has got a bit of every genre in there you can think of. There's some psychological stuff in there. There's obviously the romance side, and it's got a bit of everything. But
It also makes me wonder, though, with the reason why older shows. Not saying there's no newer shows that go very deep in the plot, because I know that some people are like, well, I can name this show and this show and this show, and yes, there are those new shows that have some very deep plots, like for example Scum's Wish, which we've mentioned several times. But it makes me wonder if the reason why those older animes have such a deep plot is because of the fact anime wasn't mainstream, or not really as mainstream as it is now. Whereas now, since people realize that that anime now can make a little bit more money, if it is because of the fact they're looking at what sells and what most fans are going to watch. Like most fans will watch those action shows or the shows that have a lot of like gore or killing or anything that's very like high schoolish romance, and those are what is selling and what most people are watching, not so much for the storyline. Whereas probably for the older shows, the reason why they were made like that and were so in depth is because of the fact that they weren't mainstream. So you had those select people that really watched it and truly enjoyed it for what it was. And that could be why, because now it's a money thing and it's an industry thing, and they're going for what sells and what gets the most, what people will watch the most.
Yeah. Definitely agree with everything that you said, as usual, Shay. But yeah, appreciate our older shows more.
Yeah, like I'm still waiting for a show to come out that's like Sailor Moon, with it like a huge female cast that are like kicking people's butts.
Did you know with Sailor Moon that it's getting a new sequel?
Of course you saw that.
Yeah, I still haven't seen I still haven't seen season 3 yet. I really need to.
I was excited.
I did enjoy Sailor Moon Crystal. Yeah.
So excited.
Have you gone to see Sailor Moon our movie where you are right now?
I did not, because the closest one to me was further away, and so it wasn't anywhere close by. But I'm hoping it will come out on iTunes. So Apple, if you're listening,
cool.
And Visit, you're listening, please put the movie out on iTunes so I can buy it, because I have it on VHS, but I don't have a VHS player.
Yeah, hashtag Viz.
Hashtag Viz, hashtag put on iTunes, hashtag please, hashtag yay. Like
you should just put them in a
happy Shay.
Right.
You should just put them in a Twitter. You should put them in a Twitter status.
I know. Like I would love it if it was on iTunes, because I even love the music that was in the VHS. So I'm wondering if they got the original rights to all the songs on there, because I love the songs in the movie. I have them on my phone. I listen to them a lot, and I really hope so, because some of my favorite scenes are in Sailor Moon are, and I'm hoping that they do, and I believe they're doing all the movies. So I think Viz got the rights to all the movies as well. So they're gonna do Hearts and Ice, and they're also gonna do the other one. I think it's like called the Black Hole or something like that.
Yeah,
but
this pains me, because there's so many things I wish I can say to you right now, but I can't because NDA.
NDA.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. If you talk about it, you die, basically.
Oh no.
Not really. You don't really die.
I got too much to do. You
don't really die, but you get in some trouble if you talk about it.
All I can say is one of the very good gentlemen that got Otaku Gamer Zone, its Omakase ambassadorship, now works for Viz Media, and that's how I got the Sailor Moon Crystal, that limited edition Blu-ray, for review, because I am part of their PR list.
Do not tell us such things.
That is awesome.
You and your connection.
Did you not see that video?
Yeah, I did. I did see that.
Yeah. This was supposed to come last August, and my apartment lost it.
Oh my God! Really?
Because I just saw Sailor Moon. I just saw Sailor Moon Crystal, the Blu-ray, in Best Buy, and I just posted a Twitter about it because it was like $50 at Best Buy, and I was upset.
It's not cheap.
Oh, it was expensive, and I wanted it, but I was like, I have to.
I'm excited. I'm hopefully gonna plan to go see the new Yu-Gi-Oh movie that's just come out here in Australia. So.
And there's a Yu-Gi-Oh game out too. If you have an iPhone, there's a Yu-Gi-Oh game out. I think it's also on Android too. It's
I
called
didn't know that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I have it. So you play. It's like you're playing the card game and you're
Oh my
beating
God.
people along the way. It's
Please,
pretty.
do,
It's pretty
please
fun.
do a game review. Please do a review for that on your YouTube.
I will do
I will
it.
love you.
I will do a review for it, and it's kind of funny because I never played the original card game as a kid ever.
I never did.
I didn't understand it. And a lot of people that I work with have started playing the card game again. So they like have the mat and they're playing it, and I'm just like, I only know who the Dark Magician is and the Blue Eyes White Dragon.
No, Summon
And
Skull is
Girl. I know Exodia. I know Exodia. You gotta have 5 pieces to get
This is
Exodia.
a fangirling.
Shay,
This is a fangirling moment.
I'm gonna need to like do a video for you guys because I still have all my original Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
See, I had
Oh,
Pokemon cards as a kid, but I don't have them anymore because we lost them. And I had like a holographic
Pokemon
Kabutops. I had a holographic Charizard. I had some good cards, but I don't have them anymore.
That's so good.
When I was younger, everyone's heard the tale. I traded my beautiful shiny Articuno card, the first Pokemon card I ever got. I traded it for a Weedle.
Whoa, no.
Everyone's heard this. I was 7.
You like,
So tragic.
you like,
I didn't realize at the time
that hurt my soul.
was.
Oh, Lita.
My soul is in pain.
Oh my gosh.
I have a
Traded
question
for
though.
Weedle.
Did the person you trade the card with, were they older than you? Because they probably knew.
No, they
No?
were younger.
Because I was gonna, they were younger. Oh,
boy.
they were younger.
Boy.
Because all I can say,
I was-
like, that sounds like something that someone who's like 13, who knows what that card is worth, will like give you something like a Caterpie or a Weedle.
This boy wasn't friends with. He was very knowledgeable in our class, and yeah.
So he knew what he was getting.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll give you a Weedle.
I
You give me a
didn't.
Articuno.
Get your Articuno card.
I can't believe I didn't even know what I was thinking back then.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my brother used to play with our Pokemon cards, and my brother and I shared them. I mostly collected them, but he knew how to play the actual game. And he played it during lunchtime, and him and his friends, how they played, or who was playing against, was for keeps. So if you won these cards and beat the Pokemon, you got to keep it. And my brother was playing, and he had our holographic Charizard, and he was using, or Kabutops, one of them. And he was about to lose, and the lunch bell rang, so he got to keep all the cards. And so he was like, I almost lost it, and I was so mad at him. I was like, don't you ever play again, okay? No more.
Oh no.
Man, unhappy Shay.
Yeah, I was quite unhappy about that. But luckily, he didn't lose it, so he was fine.
No, Shay's been very fiery this podcast episode, everybody.
I think it's because my computer kept going.
Shay fiery.
Hashtag please put Sailor Moon on iTunes.
Yeah, Viz, media, listen,
Hashtag Viz.
listen up.
Hashtag Viz, call me.
Call me, maybe?
Call me.
Oh God. All right, everyone. I think we're gonna end the podcast, I think, right here. Leave it on a good note. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves going down nostalgia road. Brought up some memories. We talked some Backstreet Boys and Nakano Khan. Josh is gonna do a live stream for us. Oh my God.
Of course.
Yes, you better, man. And
Make
I
it
would
death
like
threats.
to. I'm good at death threats. I would like to thank Josh for being on our podcast, our very first guest. You have great privilege.
Immense privilege to be Lita's personal punching bag.
Yes, you tweeted about it. I just saw it. I'm like, ooh, I'll spread the word.
And also
People
our first guest.
Yay!
Yeah.
And hopefully not the last time you're here, because we definitely want to have you on here again.
I'm sorry, it will be. No. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. I'll pack my bags. It's been great, guys.
Don't worry. We will have Josh here again. We'll have him for that one about Yuri and Yaoi.
Yes.
Queer bedding one. I think we will. He definitely knows what we're talking about. So, well, anyway, as usual, these podcasts are a mess as usual, but that's okay. That's how we roll here on the Senshi Annie Girls. Maybe we can do like Senshi Annie / Boy Girls. I would change the name. You feel included, Josh?
Deep down, we're all girls inside.
Maybe we could call it the Senshi Annie Joshi Girls. No.
That
There
sounds
you
like
go.
a weird. That's like a weird harem anime title. Like,
Well, a harem.
that's what it sounds like.
We're in a harem triangle. Anyone that comes on our show from now on will get a body pillow. We'll get a body
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Oh man. I think those things are
We'll
just
get you a
weird.
kill body pillow.
Oh god. I think the anime body pillows are kind of weird. I don't know why. I find them strange. I don't find regular body pillows weird, but the anime ones I
I've
find.
got to tell Jupiter body pillow. She's perfect. You know, all the waifu. Anyway, well, I think we'll end now before we traumatize any more souls that listen to us. So the Senshi Annie girls are crazy, just crazy. Anyway, thank you again, Josh, for being here on our show. It's been amazing to have you. Very entertaining. I'm sure everyone else, Scott from Mechanical Views, too late. Yes, it is too late. We went over the threshold.
I think he means about the scarring for life thing.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, true. But that's how we roll here. You can tell everybody that.
we're all about
Senshi Annie girls scar people for life.
That's what we do, right?
Okay, not literally scarring them. Well, thank you all for attending our podcast. You wouldn't listen to us if you didn't enjoy us. And as usual, please go follow. I was saying as usual. I get swooped up here. Go follow Otaku Gamer Zone. Again, I linked his blog in the description down below, and I will link his YouTube as well. Go support him. He works his ass off. And go check out Viewsta, because he works for Viewsta as well. Definitely go check out free anime. No ads. Who doesn't love that? Woohoo! So, but I don't have full access to a lot of the shows, so I've only got this small little smidgen of anime I can watch on there. Oh well. But go support that. And as usual, you guys can follow me and Shay and the links down below. And please feel free to suggest any topics for the future you would like us to talk about. Again, not sure what we will be talking about next episode, but we will reveal that on our Twitter. I'm thinking maybe we go the favorite males route. I'm thinking this time. It's time we talk about the husbandos.
I'm
yeah.
I'm down for that topic.
Pretty spicy.
Yes, maybe that. And yes, when Josh, you should tell us your. Maybe we should have you, Josh. You can tell us your husbandos. Every boy's got a husbando.
Everybody has them.
Okay, I'm gonna end it here. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Say bye guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you guys.